G'day comrade subscribers. So, another Japanese machine. This time an NEC PC-80 series, so a PC-8001 Mark II. So this is the second one in the PC-8000 series. There was the original PC-8001, then this one, the Mark II. So yeah, the 8000, the original was in 1979, the Z80 based machine. Then this one came out in 1983, I think, and then there was the Mark II SR, which came out in 1985. So around about the same time they had the PC-88 series, and it was basically it was the better machine, had better graphics, better color, things like that. So I don't think these were very popular, although you can find them pretty cheap on, especially on Japanese auction sites. So yeah, I thought we'd have a look at this one. So this is the second of three models that came out. Yeah, it's got a bit of yellowing on the front. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't opened it. I haven't even tried it. I don't know if it works. Obviously it's from Japan, so it runs on 100 volts, 50 or 60 hertz, because they use both frequencies in Japan. Yeah, so I thought we'll take a look. Let's have a look at the keyboard. I quite like the keyboard. So here we are, a bit closer. Like I said, there is a bit of yellowing, although maybe I could use a bit of cream cleanser. Might be able to get some of that grime off. Pretty typical Japanese layout, I guess. It's the keys have got a pretty nice feel. I quite like it. So we've got QWERTY layout. We've got a graph button here so that we can get the additional graphics characters, and then over here we've got a kana switch to get the I think it's just katakana, isn't it? Yeah, so kana on and off. Numeric keypad and some function keys. That's basically it. Let's have a look at the back though. Alright, now looking at the back, just turn it around. Yeah, it's a bit interesting actually. So, how's my lighting today? This should go back on here, but I'm not sure how to put it on properly. I don't think that's right, but okay, anyway. So as you can see here, 100 volts in, nice on-off button. We've got a reset button. We've got a color RGB output, video, 8-pin. We've got black and white, so that's 5-pin DIN. So that's pretty much video, ground, and light pen, and 12 volts as well. So you can actually have light pen on that. We've got a CMT port. That's actually the cassette port. I've been trying to figure out what CMT means. I'm not sure. It's mentioned once in... Just move that chair. It's mentioned once in the manual that I've found, where it was called the CMT interface connected to a cassette recorder. I don't know, compact magnetic tape or something? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. RS-232, so pretty standard. Then here we've got the configuration for the RS-232. So we've got some, if I can get this off again, some pin headers here where we can set the baud rate up to 9600. I'm not sure on the mode select yet, so I'm not sure about that one. Have to have a look. Floppy disk interface, Synchronous, I believe. Unfortunately, it's not a USART interface. It's similar to the Commodore, I believe, in which the separate disk unit has its own CPU. So we send commands and we get data back. So really, you need, well, I guess you need something similar to what you've got on the Commodore to implement SD interface, I guess. So we'll have to have a look at that. Then we've just got something called port. So I don't know if that's a joystick port. And then we've got a smaller Synchronous for the printer, which I don't really care about. And interestingly, also two large expansion ports. If we zoom out a bit more, ooh, even more, yep. So covered by these two. So I guess RAM expansions. There is, you can get a kanji card as well. So if you want to do kanji, apparently that you can do. That's where that goes. Something like that. Okay, let's put these back on somehow. See, to me it looks like it's got a bit there, so it looks like it wedges under there like that, and then it's supposed to clip in under there, but it's not really sitting properly. I would just leave it off, but the problem is that this header here kind of sticks out a bit. Not that I'm using the serial port, but you've got all these exposed pins sticking out a bit, so not ideal. I could have maybe, I don't know, moved them back inside a bit. Anyway, let's not worry about that for now. So we'll have a look at the quick look at the bottom. You can see here, 20 watts, blah blah blah, made in Japan, and that's it. Nothing on the side. Like I said, you can see if you compare the colouring. I don't know if it's going to be too close. Ooh, extreme close up. But you can see there, difference in colouring. So we do have a bit of sun damage, I guess is the word. Right, shall we try and power it on? Oh, one more interesting thing actually. Let me get it. Here we go. So came with a video cable, but not really one I can use at the moment. So we've got 8-pin DIN, so it's for the color RGB. It's basically a digital RGB cable, Japanese connector. So it's called an RGB8 connector, or a Honda connector apparently. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen one of those. There we go. So yeah, I think I'll keep it for now. I don't know. Oh, I didn't have too much with my. Hang on. Here's my 8-pin RGB that I made for my. What was the other machine? For my QL. I think the yeah, it does look to be slightly off. Yeah, the pin angles are slightly off, so yeah, that's probably why it won't fit in a QL. Not to worry. So what I'll do today is I'll just use the black and white output, which is the 5-pin DIN. That's pretty simple. I could probably even reuse a VIC-20 cable. Yeah, so I'll make up one of those cables. I just need pins 2 and 3, I guess. Pin 2 is ground, pin 3 is video. And then I'll hook up to 100 volts and see what happens. Before I get started this, so here's the pinouts. So this is for the color CRT interface. And I think it's very similar to VGA. So I did find on Leaded Solder website, someone's actually done a conversion using some 150 ohm resistors. So, but we've got 12 volts, we've got ground, we've got color clock, kara basto times 4 no koroku or something like that. Horizontal sync, V-sync, and RGB. So that's the 8 pins on that one. As you can see here, up there, and then we've got a nice explanation of each one. And then for the CRT, for the black and white, 5-pin DIN. As you can see here, we've got again 12 volts out, ground, video out, not connected, and light pins. So obviously we just need pins 2 and 3, pins 2 and 3, and we should get a black and white image, and that's the cassette there. So I'll worry about getting a video signal first. Okay, cable is made, nice and simple. Start recording on the video capture and power on. Oh, there we go. It's working. Cool. Black and white, of course. Green power LEDs on. Sounded like there was some sort of relay or something inside. Let's wait for that to go. There we go. NEC N80 basic. So yeah, the previous model, the original model, had a 24K version of basic called N basic. This Mark II's got a 32K ROM with N80 basic. So there we go. Cool. All right. So we all should stop. All right. Delete. There we go. Should always try to see if it understands the question mark. I guess it should if it's a Microsoft. Is it a Microsoft Basic thing? Anyway, print. Oh, we can do kana, can't we? All right. I don't know the layout of the Japanese keyboard. Tate tesuto. I'm just going to do that. Tesu to testo testo test. Cool. And semicolon, right. Oh, I can do a go to using the function keys. So F3. Oh, auto as well, so it does auto line numbering. Cool. There we go. Go to 10. Alright, and then if we do a CLS. No, alright, doesn't know a CLS. Okay, fair enough. I'll have to do it some other way, I guess. So let's do an F4 list. Alright, and then F5 run. Cool. I know someone's going to play, oh, that's not how you write test in katakana. I don't care. Okay, so there's escape or stop. What do you reckon? Alright, test. So I'll do the Control C. Well, does that mean I can do Control C? No. Okay. What does escape do? Pauses it. Okay, so escape pauses. Stop stops. Fair enough. Tab. Cool. Okay. So it's working. I guess let's pull it apart. I need to figure out. It's quite a well, it's not a complex. Let's stop this recording. It's not a complex pinout for the cassette. What we've got ground, record, mon, remote plus remote minus. Oh, okay, so we don't really need to worry about the remote. So it's, yeah, so it's an 8-pin, which I don't, I've got the wrong size, angled DINs, so I need to order some new ones. Although, what is it saying? 4 and 5, and then 2. Actually, I can get away probably with a 5-pin DIN. You just need these bottom 3, don't you? Alright, and then you can see here, because kanji conveys meaning, so we've got rec, so that's an output signal, output power or something, and then you've got mon, which is an input signal, and then you've got output for the remote, remoto. So record is output from the computer, mon is input, so ear. But yeah, let's not worry about it because I need to find software for it. Let's just pull it apart for this first video, shall we? Okay, 3 screws down the front here, 4 screws along the back. The base is quite heavy, so I'd say everything's attached to the base. Maybe I should tip it over. Let the screws fall out and lift the keyboard up maybe. Ah, yeah, okay, that's much easier. and give that a good clean. Alright. Number 3 printed under, I think that's the part where the power LED can be seen, so I don't know what that indicates. So, okay, we've got the expansion kind of cage here for the 2 expansion boards. Nice power supply unit here. Be good to see if I can replace this with a Meanwell so I can run it on 240 volts. Let's turn it around. Okay. Got some nice felt on the keyboard here. Keep the dust off, I guess. So keyboard is, looks like the keyboard is secured in by these small screws around here. Power supply, what should come out first? Maybe the expansion chassis. Maybe the keyboard. Let's see if we can get the keyboard out. These small screws. Don't want to lose them. Alright, I'll be back when this is done. Okay, so that comes up. I thought I might have to undo the earth straps, but, well, I do actually, don't I? We'll leave them attached to the keyboard, shall we? No, Why don't you want to come out? Oh, don't get stray bits of metal in there, Brett. Is this? There's a Japanese style, Japanese standard screw, as I was told. Okay, that's gone down there. That's got a dot on it, so it's not a Phillips. It's some Japanese standard. These are non-magnetic because they fell down there. Don't know if they got a dot on them. Don't see a dot. Alright. So now I think the keyboard can come out apart from these cables there. Wow, look at that shielding. Cool. Oh, there's a speaker. Loud little fucker. Bugger. Sorry. Loud little bugger. The apparently the Mark II SR. So the 8001 and the Mark II have got just a beeper. Whereas apparently the 2SR, along with improved color graphics, has FM synthesis for the audio as well. So apparently they didn't want to compete with their PC-88 series machines, so they kind of hobbled these. So it's kind of like, well, what are these machines really for, I guess? Alright, so let's disconnect the keyboard. There we go. So pull one of the keys off, I guess. Have a quick look. Was that the right one to pull off? Okay, interesting. Let's pull off the stop key. There is a bit of... There we go. So that's the keycaps used. Or the key switches used, sorry. That's what the keycap looks like. So quite nice. Obviously there's a bit of... Yeah, you can see there's a bit of dust on there, but it's kind of like this is kind of, yeah. Oh well. Oh well. I'll try and give it a clean. See how it goes. Right, let's look at the rest of the machine. So, power supply, nice and simple. There we go. So, bigger screwdriver. Oh, that wasn't too hard. Okay. You had some sad news last week. My mum-in-law passed away unexpectedly, which was pretty devastating for the wife. There's a bit of a backstory to Sue, my mum-in-law. We tried to get her over here in Australia on a particular visa, where you've got basically most of your family in Australia, or at least 50% of your family in Australia. The tricky part was that Sue had a child from the first marriage. Haven't had any contact for decades, but we actually got the court document from South Africa for the divorce, which said that Sue did not have custody of the child. So great, according to the visa guidelines, that should be fine. But no, the good old Australian government rejected it. So we had to go to appeal. The stupid bitch there rejected it. No empathy. And the final thing was Peter Dutton, the immigration minister. So he's currently the opposition leader. I don't really want to get into Australian politics, but I can tell you from first-hand experience that man has no empathy. He's pretending he's got empathy now, but when we needed it, no, there was none. He could see that my wife and I and our two kids, her only two real grandkids, were the only family that she had here in Australia. Well, only family that she had. But he said no. So she had to go back to the UK by herself, no other family, because her husband died 16 years ago, motor neurone disease. And so she'd been living there for the past 8 years. And of course COVID came, so we couldn't go over, and basically couldn't afford to go and visit her. So, but found a visa that she is eligible for. So the other visa was going to cost us 50 grand. So don't think she's coming in and going to be draining the Australian social security, because she's on a British pension and she would be living with us. So it's not going to cost anything. But anyway, so I pretty much blame Peter Dutton directly. He if he'd manned up and had an ounce of empathy, then he would have intervened and let her stay here with her only family, because we've been sending money across to her every month for the past 8 years to help support her. She wouldn't have died of pneumonia if she was here. So her dying of pneumonia is basically directly his fault. That's the way I see it. Anyway, he's probably going to be the next Prime Minister, because not because he wins the next election, but because the current Prime Minister loses it. But he's going around pretending he's an empathetic man, but he's not. His record is, unless you're a big Liberal Party donator, and you've got some au pairs that need to get into the country, then he will swiftly intervene and grant them visas. But unfortunately, we're not rich Liberal Party donors, so we miss out. And of course, our youngest son with autism, he would have benefited greatly from having his nanny Sue here. But it is what it is. So yeah, we had to kind of flight over there for my wife, and a week's accommodations, almost $5 grand. So that's just for her. So she's going to have to pack up her flat and all that by herself, which I don't think is going to be very easy. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to write Dutton a letter, and my local member. I'm pretty angry. He could have, if he had empathy, she could have been here and she wouldn't have died. She could have lived into her 90s, survived breast cancer 35 years ago. So she didn't deserve this. Didn't deserve this at all. Anyway, enough. I like to kind of throw in some non-computer stuff every now and again. So I'll let you skip I'll let you know how to skip this in the description. Always check the video description. So yeah. Anyway, power supply. So power supply's out. That's quite modular. That's quite nice. Maybe I could gut this and fit a Meanwell power supply in. So what have we got? We've got ground, and then we've got 3 voltages. Oh, here we go. Plus minus 12, I guess, for serial, and plus 5. Too easy. So that'll be another video maybe. See if I can get a Meanwell to fit in that. Okay, we've got, now this is a ROM connector or something there, I think. We'll have a closer look once we get all this. So that's not coming out because of this screw over here. And another one. Okay. We're actually on we were on a current affair as well, pleading our case, but it didn't help. I've actually got a copy of that still. On the current affair. Now why isn't this coming out? Okay, maybe I have to. Alright, maybe I need a break. Let's have a break. Didn't really have a break. So, yeah, so it's been a week, so it's kind of processed it now, but still, you know, she didn't deserve any of this, you know. She was such a nice mum-in-law. You know, she even basically paid for our, because our two kids are IVF, so I know some people are funny about that, but, you know, basically we can't have kids, naturally. I'm not going to go into that, but we had to do IVF, and she helped pay for it, pretty much. Wasn't cheap. So, this was when her husband was alive and still working and things like that. So I'm just, yeah, okay, so this expansion thing here should just pull out. Looks like it's just pin header. So I should just be able to, there we go. That's come out. Yeah, pin header there. Okay. So I have to see if there's some sort of expansion board that someone's made. So a bit of dust in here. So there we've got some ROMs here. 128. 128. Oh, got a battery. Got a battery that might need replacing. So obviously we've got NEC chips everywhere. So it uses a Z80 clone. God, I hope I'm going to remember where all these screws have come from. Yeah. So just, yeah. She shouldn't have died from pneumonia by herself. No family. That's just not right. And that's actually, you know, we've built our house here. We actually built a self-contained granny flat. So, because she's eligible for visas. Like, there's another visa, basically, when it's the last family member and you financially supported them for 3 years or 5 years or something, they're eligible for a visa. But if you apply for it offshore, there's a 50-year queue, basically, a 50-year wait for visas. Well, that was when I last checked. So she's like eligible for that one. So you could like apply for it onshore, but you've got to get over here first, which is a long trip. Okay, so that cage is out. Quite well made, I think. And there we go. Lots of socketed chips. So that's the Z80 there. The other one's B6102C005, 008. So these are all obviously NEC chips because it's an NEC machine. Oh, okay, but it was labelled. Okay, here. So we've got VRAM labelled here. We'll have a closer look, and we'll have to, yeah, we'll get this out and give it a clean and check what this battery's doing. But we've got space for another ROM here, 2764. I don't know if anything else is labelled. IC. So it's just the VRAM there is labelled, and then we've got RAM here. That's socketed actually. So I've got some socketed RAM there. We've got some soldered in RAM there, the VRAM. And okay, we've got a relay up there. So that was the clicking. I guess that's for the cassette. And I/O bus. There we go, I/O bus. So I think maybe the kanji Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to have a look. So I'm not too familiar with this. CPU bus, so that's the chassis. I'll give it a blow and then we'll have a closer look. Alrighty, hands free. So, like I said, down here we've got our VRAM. So nicely labelled. Got power in there. I'm going to pause for each one so that I've got time to look up what these chips are. So I guess 82, that's the date stamp. So that's a D3301AC-2, a D2316EC. So that kind of sounds like that might be a ROM. A D8251C. And we've got our interfaces up there. Some interesting looking capacitors. I've never seen capacitors like that before. Like kind of ceramic with big chunky legs. First time I've seen ones like that. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so moving along. Got some more socketed chips. I'm going to have to look up whilst I'm doing the video. Whilst I'm processing the video. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the Z80, a D780C, 4 megahertz. Not sure what that is. And then we've got our actual system RAM, 4164. So well, we've got two lots. So what was this? So is it 64 kilobit? Not sure off the top of my head what it was supposed to have. Okay, and so that one's marked 2764. I did actually see this, I think, in the manual, so I'm not sure off the top of my head. Oh, some tantalums. But I guess one of them's basic, I guess, isn't it? 32K. Yeah, so that's a 128, isn't it? That's 32K. Yeah. Printer. And this one here, I guess I'm going to have to swap out, am I? Looks okay at the moment, but I'm assuming it's a 1983 computer. That should be swapped out. Oh, what's that one there? I'm not sure. Oh, 8255. Good old 8255. So that's, is it a PPI, a programmable peripheral interface, or is it a PIA, programmable interface adapter, or a VIA, versatile interface adapter? There we go, and then there's a quite loud little speaker. So quite a nicely made machine, I think. I'm quite, yeah. A lot of cleaning to do, get all the dust out. And it'll be interesting to see if I can make there's some boards available. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully that was of some interest. Definitely, I think the PC-88 series is probably the better machines. And if you have a choice between an 8001 Mark II, 2SR, then maybe the 2SR is the best one to get as well. But yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.